Hello everyone, I'm Brian. So I'm going to talk about what my thoughts are on the Tau 10th edition. I played Tau in ninth, barely, actually a little bit. Was getting good with them, decent. And so I kind of read up on it a little bit and have an opinion about it. So look at the armor rules. So essentially in this one you select one to shoot, which is the guided unit. You have another unit that you select as your observer, and then you have the target unit, which you get the +1 to ballistics against. So basically, okay, each time you select this unit to shoot, if it's not an observer unit, you can use this ability. If it does, select one other friendly unit with this ability that's also eligible to shoot, excluding fortification, battle shocks, and observer units. That means half your army is going to get +1 to hit. But this is a big problem with the battle shock. I will say that. Alright, anyways, I'll get back to that though. Until the end of the phase, this unit is considered to be guided, and the friendly unit is considered to be an observer unit. Then select an enemy unit that's visible to both your units to be their spotted unit. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in the guided unit makes an attack that targets the spotted unit, improve the BS, the ballistic skills characteristics that by 1, and the observer unit has the marker like keyword, the attack has the ignore cover ability. Each time a model in the guided unit makes an attack that does not target a spotted unit, worsen the ballistic skills characteristics of that attack by 1. So 2 problems here. Battle shock is a problem, I think. It's just with the Tyranids being able to... so right now, half your army can get this. And then if any units of yours gets battle shocked, which I hear maybe might be a big thing in 10th edition, they're shutting down your army rule. Next, this is a problem. I think this is dumb. Only reason why is there should not be a negative to your army rule. Most army rules, I did kind of glance at it, has a negative. Has no negatives. I think the only one is Chaos Space Marines, which if they fail their leadership, they take mortal wounds, but only if they fail their leadership. I think all the other ones is just nothing but benefits. All positive benefits, lovely stuff. Tau, on the other hand, well, if you battle shocked, you're screwed. If you decided to split fire, you screwed yourself too. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's another army that can get theirs removed. Well, actually, they have to earn theirs to get theirs, which is the Imperial Knights, which I think they have to either kill the enemy warlord and to get a really nice buff, or hold an objective that what is it, enemy objective, or an objective in the middle maybe, something like that. Then they get the +1 movement and +1 to charge, I think. So not all that great. But anyways, all the other ones I think is just nothing but benefits. Yeah, I haven't really dug super deep because I'm a Tau player now. But we'll be playing Space Marines too as my secondary army. You should always have 2 armies, just in case one goes to crap and the other one is not as crap. So anyways, I think Battle Shock should be taken off, but then at the same time, so long as you can use the unit that's Battle Shock as an observer, okay. I think it's not that too big of a deal, but we'll see how Battle Shock is. But I think this is bad right here. Why is there a negative? It's like you're shunning the person. It's like, dude, you're supposed to shoot with us. You're supposed to shoot with us, not at the other guy. -1 to your ballistic skills. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Shoot at our normal ballistic. Just remove this, and I think it'll be fine for the most part. We'll have to see about the battle shock. So I think, what do you think about that change? Leave it in the comments below. Do you think that's fair enough? Battle shock, we'll see how that goes. We don't know if that's something that's just going to be all over the place, and all of a sudden, well, already half my army only gets the +1 to, I mean, it gets the army rule because one of them has to be observer and the other one has to be the guided. This one is garbage, just because, like, why is there a negative to an army rule? There's all the other armies has been positive, except for Chaos Space Marines. Alright, so this one, the attachment ability to Kanyon. From the 3rd battle rounds onwards, all ranged weapons equipped by Tau models in your army have the sustain 1 ability. While the unit's guided, see the greater good, weapons in that unit have a sustain 2. So in terms of turn, at round 3, it is super buffed. Super buffed compared to the old Kaoyun, which is the philosophy that I run now. I used to run Monkai because, you know, being able to move and shoot without penalty is amazing. But I've been running Kaoyun. So anyways, so in terms of why is it a super buff in round 3, it's because now it has unlimited range. Your exploding 6s, it's not limited to 12 inches. Round 5, it may equal out because, you know, round 4, it may equal out because, you know, you're exploding 5 6s. Even though it's within 12 inches, you're looking at round 3 and 4, how far apart do you think your army's going to be? Not that far, so range is going to be irrelevant for the most part, obviously, except for your tanks and your long-range shooting weapons. But in terms of what your army pushes with, you know, range is not an issue. 12 inches, they're right there in turn 2 pretty much sometimes, especially melee armies. So I'll say in turn 3, this is definitely a big buff. Turn 2, especially with the you know, guided units with sustained hits 2. So turn 5, I think it's about equal, considering the fact, again, 5-6 exploding, and it's turn 4, turn 4, 5-6 exploding within 12 inches. You're still only exploding on 6s on this one, I think. I don't know if there's any kind of something that can change up in here, but anyway, let's assume 6. And then on turn 5, the last round, while a lot of people say it may not matter, but exploding 4, 5, 6s, on turn 5, the last round, I think it's a big nerf, considering that it's 1, the last round, 2, everyone's in your face anyway, so 12 inches ain't gonna matter, at least some people say, anyways. But yeah, round 1, complete and utter buff. Round 3. Round 4, I think it's about an even, and then round 5, it's a complete nerf. So it kind of, I guess, evens out, I suppose. Okay, Spotlight. So, let's see here. Drone burst cannon, I'll say the burst cannon itself got nerfed. There used to be 6 shots. Everything else is the same. Iron rifle got nerfed. The only reason why I got nerfed because it used to be an AP2 even as a standard shot, but the overcharge is the same. I guess it kind of got a little bit of a buff because now you're not having to roll three dice to see if it overheats or kills the model. So that's a bit of a buff in terms of hazards, and I would say the buff is a bit better, I suppose, than the nerf, because now you have a reduced chance of blowing up. Pulse carbine's been nerfed. It used to be 24 inches, and it's assault 2. Pulse pistol, it's about the same. Rail rifle, it's a kind of it's been buffed, I suppose. It used to be strength 8, AP 4, 3 damage plus 1 mortal. Now you have devastating wounds, and it's a heavy, so in terms of its ballistic skills, it's normal because if you don't move, you're hitting on 4+. In the old times, and you move, it's -1 to hit because it's heavy. Now it's +1 to hit if you don't move, which is normal, and then you're hitting your normal ballistics on 5+ when you move. So, and mind you, you're going to be probably going to be using your Pathfinder as a guided unit because it can do it twice. Target upload once per turn. When using the greater good, you can select this unit to be an observer for a second time. When doing so, you can change which enemy unit is the unit spotted, change which enemy unit is the unit spotted unit. That's a lot of units in that little phrase there. Anyways, I don't really use the grenade launcher. I did want to, due to the fact that it used to provide a half the wounds. It's what do you call it? Its bracket is considered to be half the wounds when it's hit. Now I don't know if it's kind of sucks. So you're wounding on 4+. It's a mortal wound on 4+. I think, I don't know. Not sure how that works exactly. I know devastating wounds, I think it's a 6, but you are wounding on a 4+. I believe that's what that's for. But it's only 1 damage though. Close combat weapons, yeah, who cares about that one? You can leave that blank and still nothing will change. But movement's still the same, toughness the same, saves have been improved, wounds is still the same, leadership, I'm not sure if that's the same or not, 7+. These guys used to have a leadership of 8, so maybe that makes sense. Objective control 1, yep, you know, who cares? So they have a scout 7, which is the same. Grav Inhibitor Drone, that's the same, that hasn't changed. It's always -2 to charge. As a matter of fact, they have Photon Grenades, which used to have Stratagem. But anyways, Pulse Accelerator Drone used to actually increase the AP of your pulse rifles and stuff by 1. Now instead it adds a 6-inch range to that. Recon Drone used to be just a burst cannon drone, but this one gives you the infiltrator ability, which I do, maybe some people will use it, but I have a feeling it's not going to be the case. And the reason why being is the strategy for this unit here is this guy's going to be sitting in the very back of the field with the hammerheads, with the broadsides and Riptide. Why? Because you're going to make a sandwich. You're going to put a hammerhead down first, that's the base, then the Pathfinders, and the hammerhead right next to it. Why? Because marker lights no longer have range. You have unlimited range on the marker light, and one Pathfinder teams can be the guided unit for two of your units. They can guide one of your hammerhead first, and then they can guide the other one. And if they're right next to each other, guess what? Whatever one hammerhead can see, that Pathfinder can see, and what the other hammerhead can see, that same Pathfinder can see too, because they're literally a sandwich together, or the Riptide or broadsides. So I don't think Pathfinders, in my opinion, are going to be deployed forward. Maybe if they have some way of denying drops or whatever, it doesn't look like it. So the Scout 7, Scout 7 Infiltrate, completely and utterly useless. Rail rifles, maybe not. I have a feeling Pathfinder is going to be just the exact bare bones for it, just for the double marker light for your hammerheads and stuff. All right, what else? Okay, Guardian Drone. I think this actually got a buff from its old Guardian Drone, which was the Fire Wars can be equipped. Mind you, I didn't run every single model of the Tower Empire, but I'm just going to explain what I know and what I ran. So Fire Wars can get this, and it's on a roll of a 1 or 2 auto fails. This is actually an improvement on that, because even if they're winning, 2+ now becomes 3+ automatically. So if they have a strength 6, even with the old one, the 1-2s would fail. But if they had a strength 4 weapon, they normally wound you on a 3+, and a 1 and 2 already fails. So the Guardian Drone was useless in the old 9th edition codex. But this one, a 3+ now becomes a 4+, which is a buff. If this can be equipped on crisis suits, that would be amazing. Gun Drone, nerf, because again, these are equipments, and hitting on a 5+ or 4+ if you get the marker light ability or for the greater good, it's not great. Unless these things are like 5 points, I don't think people are going to grab this. I don't think I will. Marker Drone, on the other hand, again, all this is all depending on its cost, of course. I have a feeling Guardian Drone is going to be one of the more expensive ones. Marker Drone, though, this is very much a possibility, because then you can observe even if you advance, which I think is going to be very much for what do you call it? For the Pathfinders, because you can now make them move, and they get a marker drone. I mean, they can still do their crap. Their be the observer unit. Missile drone, again, this could be worth it. I mean, it's not an assault weapon. It's not a heavy weapon. I guess it doesn't matter. Hitting on 4+ maybe. So I think this would be more of a possibility than the gun drone. I think the gun drone's dead, honestly. I think Guardian Drone's a very possibility, depending on what units can equip it. Marker Drone, again, depending on what units will be equipped. Definitely Pathfinders, I have a feeling, are going to be equipping this no matter what. 5 to 10 points, maybe, to get this. 10 points, maybe pushing it. 5 points, more than likely, it's a must-take. Again, this has the highest chance of being taken, just because of, not too bad. Hitting on 4+ if you get the guided. And strength 7, AP do damage too. It's not bad, extra firepower. This actually hasn't changed in terms of its damage profile or AP. This is what it was, 30 inches. It was 2 attacks, I believe. I don't remember. And hitting on 5+ because it's a stupid missile drone. But it was strength 7, it was AP 2, and it was damage 2 in 9th edition, and looks like it stayed the same in 10th. Shield drone, completely and utterly useless for the most part. Now, I thought I read this as the unit gets +1 to the wound characteristics, which would make it decent. But it's the bearer's wound characteristics. That means only a person equipped with this gets +1 to wound. Is it worth 5 points to get 1 additional wound? Maybe. It depends on what other equipment you can have and what it takes up. But if it takes up a gun slot, it's useless. If it's just a free thing that you can equip, maybe. +1 to, if it's 25 points for 1 to wound, not worth it. If it's 10, questionable. 5, maybe. Again, more than likely you can only have 2 drones. Guardian drone's a must. Maybe shield drone, more than likely missile drone. Yeah, they nerfed the crap out of shield drones. Man, I love shield drones. I know people hated it, but what they could have done is something else different. They could have just limited the number of shield drones that the unit can equip. Say 1 per crisis suit. And what a shield drone would do, I think would be good, but it could make it pretty strong, is on a failed save, you can allocate the damage to a shield drone, which makes sense. It's in terms of like the the pictures that you see. You see a shield drone charging forward and taking the hit for a crisis suit. 1 shield drone per 1 shield drone per crisis suit or whatever per whatever model that's equipped with it, and all it does is takes 1 of your failed saves away, and you don't have to take the first one, or maybe it's the first one. I don't know. I think the first one wouldn't be could nerf it a bit, but it's still something that's better than this. But it'd be nice if you can take it to like, oh, you're bolter firing me. I'll take the wounds on my crisis suit. Then all of a sudden, oh, last cannon. Okay, that I'll negate that to the shield drone. I think that's better. Let me know what you guys think about that one. Where 1 shield drone per crisis suit, or maybe 1 shield drone per 2 crisis suits. So and maybe I think 6 total, so you can have 3 shield drones and a 6-man crisis suit squad. Again, I don't know how many crisis suits you can have now, and just as soon as 1 failed save, you can redirect that failed save to a shield drone. I think that would make sense, but I can see it, potentially being slightly overpowered, but at the same time, maybe not. Let me know in the comments below. All right, railgun. I'm not really mad about this at all. I mean, it seems good, honestly. I do wish that they did 9 plus D3 instead to make it a little bit more reliable, because the old Hammerhead would be 6 plus D3 plus 3 mortals. So at the lowest this one will hit, it's still lower than what you normally get on a regular Hammerhead. The minimum you can get from the old Hammerhead, 9th edition, was, I believe, a 6 plus 3 mortals, then a D3. If you roll a 1, that's 10. This will be 9. And then if you roll the max for this one, 9 plus D3, which will be 12, which will be the most that you can get from the other Hammerhead. So you can, 9 plus D3 would still be pretty good. AP 5, they did reduce the AP, used to be 6. But it makes sense, with how cover saves are working now, so it's fair enough. Strength 20, again, fair enough. BS 4, fair enough, honestly. Hitting on 3+ when you don't move, that's already a bonus right there. It normally hits on 4+, but it also did get a, was it targeting log or something like that, where you can, if you failed roll, you can reroll 1 failed roll. I hope that's still on there. I guess it's just 1 attack, 72-inch range. Yep. Devastating wounds though would be pretty nice. And also, if you give this on round 3, it has exploding 6s, and especially if you use it to spot it again, the freaking Hammerhead sandwich with the Pathfinders, freaking 1 shot becomes 3 if you get lucky. I don't really run the Storm Surge, although that is looking very beautiful, I will say. But I don't run Storm Surge, so I can't really say too much on that one. This one, I genuinely think this is a bad thing. Again, I don't really run, what do you call those? I forgot what they're called. They're not Pathfinders, but they're, because you can actually, any infantry unit you can do this to. So you can do Pathfinders, you can do Fire Warriors, Breachers, that's the one. I didn't run breachers, even though they're great at popping out and clearing the objective. The reason why I think this is bad, for the most part, is because if genuinely rare, you're popping out using a CP to just get your guys into the transport. And as an enemy player, I see that, and I need you to use your CP so you can use other stratagems or have that extra CP. I want you to blow all your CP. I'm going to charge them no matter what, and if I get lucky to blow up your tank, that's fantastic. But nonetheless, I think this is bad. I can see it being used for good, though. But at the moment, I'm just going to say it's bad. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think it's bad just because, again, just to put you guys in transport, I guess the good thing is going to be in your opponent's turn that's what's going to happen to, so you can move your transport, and then hopefully, I wonder if they have a stratagem to deploy them. Otherwise, they're stuck in there for another turn, or stuck in there for your turn. But anyways, I think this is bad just because you have to use a CP for it. Now, I think this would be great if it didn't have to use a CP. It's like just an ability that they have only whenever they are charged, though. Because if they say, right, again, if they say that the CP is very rare and very valuable, are you really going to use this ability to use up your precious CP? Let me know in the comments below, honestly. I don't use these. I think it'd be a waste of CP. Again, depending on how CPs are, if it's genuinely rare, I don't think it's going to be worth it. Alright, that's it. I think the next, I don't know if I'm going to make another video, but I already gave up the stratagems of how I think units are going to be used, which I can probably elaborate a little bit more and make a dedicated video on that. But these are my thoughts on Tau Empire. Again, I guess let me tell you the history of what I play. I play 3rd, 4th, and 5th edition with Space Marine Blood Angels. That's the only army I really had. I played Fantasy during those times as well. Beastmen, Bretonnians. I'll say Beastmen's my army though in terms of Fantasy. And then when I came back into it in 9th edition, I decided to go ahead and go with Tau because I still had all my Tau models that I never really, I built up a little bit. I was trying to build up slowly to play them in maybe 5th edition, but never really did, moved. So, and I played on 2 tournaments with them, got mid-pack, about mid-pack, and did fairly decent, still learning the army. But these are my opinions as a person who plays Tau in 9th edition for, say, let's say, maybe 3 months. 3 months of 9th edition Tau player right here. And I will be a Tau player for 10th edition and Space Marines, of course. They were my first army, but Tau is my return army. So anyways, let me know what your opinion is down below. Could I be wrong about all this? Abso-freaking-lutely. Because this is only just mere little things of what a Tau Empire can be. And a lot of things can change based on what units do. So this could be really fantastic. But it could be what I said it is in this video, depending on, again, the units. Same thing with Carrion. I can't wait to see what Monkai is. And see what other units do. Genuinely want to know what the cost of these drones are. More than likely worth it. Garbage. Maybe worth it. Worth it. Garbage. Our predictions. Anyways, that's it. Leave all the comments below. If you like more content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. I'll see you in the next vid.